And we're back again, and we're going to continue our discussion on the muscle groups and the core. So strictly speaking, we're moving away from the core a little bit today. We've covered the most important parts of the core. This is something that definitely has an impact on the core, but does not strictly form part of the core. Right, so what we're going to talk about today is the quadriceps, or the quads. If you're not sure which muscle those are, think of a rugby player, think of their legs. It's those big muscles in the front of their leg, right above the knee. So those are the quadriceps. And yes, you heard right. It is, again, not a single muscle, quadriceps. It's made up out of a group. And the quads work together with the hamstrings. Remember, in the previous video, we discussed the hamstrings, and we said they bend the knee and they extend the hip, or they straighten the joint at the hip. Now, the quads is the exact opposite. So the quads straighten the knee joint. So you can, if you're sitting down, you can lift your leg up to straighten it, and it will also help you bend at the hip joint. So the quads and the hammies are very, very important, and you need both of them. They are a team. We talk about antagonistic or opposing muscle groups. And guys, I don't want you to think about this as if they're in competition with each other. It's not that kind of antagonistic or opposing. It's just they've got exactly the opposite movements that they are responsible for. Thus, they need to work as a team. And the only way they can work as a team is if you allow them to work as a team. What I'm getting at is we tend to place a lot of emphasis on the quads, on the front part of the leg, and we neglect the hamstrings. So what happens then is that the quadriceps become too strong compared to the hamstrings, which means the hamstrings cannot perform their function properly, and the quadriceps take over a lot of the movement functions of the hamstrings, which it was not supposed to do. This will lead to injury, instability at the knee joint. There's a whole lot of things that can go wrong if your quads are too strong. How do you know your quads are too strong? Most likely when you have, you get these dull pains in your knees, you struggle with things like squats, to get up from the floor, you struggle to engage your bum muscles, and so there's actually quite a lot that can go wrong if the quadriceps are not strong. How do we work the quadriceps? Quadriceps are responsible for moving forward, well, actually for moving backward as well. They enable us to walk. You cannot walk without your quadriceps because you will not be able to straighten your leg. If you only have the hamstrings, your leg will stay like this. If you only have your quads, your leg will stay like this. We need both of them. So quads are responsible for helping us walk, jump, anything that propels us. That comes from the quads. Right, so they are quite important. They are actually very, very important muscles. And you remember what to do when I say And we really need to focus a little bit on them in terms of how we work them. When people start exercising, when they start moving, they jump in, and the first thing they want to do is, for some other reason, they want to start jogging and they want to do squats, which is great. In principle, it is great, but it is also it can be very quad heavy. And then they neglect the bum muscle, they neglect the hamstrings, and we get a whole lot of muscle imbalances, which leads to postural imbalances, which leads to injury. That's why a lot of people end their exercise a long time before they actually plan to, because they got injured. And why did they get injured? Because they did not plan and move properly. So I want you to focus on when you are doing, for example, squats. As we're going down, I want you to focus on which muscles you're using. So in the previous video, when we talked about the gluteus muscle, the bum muscle, one of the exercises we can do is to sit on a chair, hands up position, and push through the heels, stand up by focusing on that bum muscles. Right, now what I want you to do is that same exercise, but I want you to sit down the same way you stood up. So we're going to hands up, you're going to stand, and then when you sit down, don't just fall down, don't let gravity do the work for you. I want you to go and slowly place your bum on the chair. Right, so imagine if there's a balloon on the chair and you need to try and sit down slowly, because if you're going to sit down slowly on that balloon, it will not burst. But if you go down quickly, you're going to pop the balloon. So just do that and you're going to feel the difference it makes in your quads. You're going to feel the quadriceps working actually, together with the bum muscle. Now, I want you to continue with all of the exercises I've given you thus far regarding the core, the glutes, the hamstrings, and the quadriceps. I want to add a couple of exercises for the glutes and for the hamstrings and the quads. So for the quads, we are going to exercise or practice extending the leg. So once again, sitting on your chair. Ladies, you don't have to go to gym to work out. Honestly, you just need a chair. You're going to sit on your chair and feet just on the ground, touching the floor, and you're going to extend your legs, straighten your legs, hold them for a moment. While you're in this position, be conscious of what's happening at your core. I want you to brace your core muscles. And again, as every time I'm telling you this, every video, when you exhale, you're going to exhale as you're contracting the glutes, the quads, sorry. And then you're going to contract your milkshake muscle. You're going to hold that for 2 seconds. And ladies, slowly lower your legs. I want you to do this over 2 to 3 counts. So 1, 2, 3. Right. I want you to lower the legs. You can do about 10 to 15 repetitions of that. 3 sets of those, and you're definitely going to feel your quads working. Together with that, with the glute bridges we've talked about for the bum and the squats, and for the glute bridges with the hamstrings, I want you to stand in 4-point kneeling, and you're just going to kick your leg backwards like you're a donkey. And that is going to work your hamstring. But again, slowly. You're going to do it to the posture like you're a donkey, but not as fast like you are a donkey, right? So exercise, we are doing all of this slowly. Exercises are not meant to be quick when you're just starting out your movement journey. And then I want to quickly look at something else. As we're discussing the quads and the hamstrings, and these muscle groups working together, I realize that is not possible unless you decide. You are the third party in this group, I want to say in this almost marriage between these two muscle groups. You are the one deciding which one works, which one doesn't, who gets neglected or who doesn't. So you need to be conscious with your body. Remember, you are made in a way that everything in your body is made to work together. But if you are not there, you are the pilot. I mean, a plane cannot fly without, well, technically it can. It cannot take off. It cannot land. It cannot do what it's supposed to do without a pilot. So you are the pilot. You need to decide. So please be conscious, be present in your body. And when you're present in your body, don't stand in front of the mirror and criticize. That is not being present in your body. That is wishing for another body, which is a different topic altogether. I want you to be conscious in your body, be grateful, be amazed at how everything works together. And yes, if it does happen that, for example, your quads are a lot stronger than your hamstrings, which for a lot of people that are sedentary, this is the case. It's not impossible to fix. That is the wonder of it all. Once you start using the hamstrings again, it will start responding. Right? So our bodies are really, guys, it is the most amazing machine. And when you're present in your body, even if it's just to be present and experience and focus on your breathing, even if it's something as simple as that, I want you to be grateful to God, to say thank you for every moving part, any little thing that's working together. The quads and the hamstrings. We're going to get to the upper body later. The biceps and the triceps. Everything that works together to help you move. When you feel a muscle working, say, thank you, God, I can feel this muscle working. Please show me, enable me, and help me to be motivated to develop this muscle, to use this muscle in the way you intended it to be. Because we forget that everything was made with a purpose. We did not happen by accident. And we didn't happen the way we are by accident. So exercise is, even though it's an internally focused activity, it's a time to be grateful. And it's a time where you can be grateful for very specific things that we take for granted and we don't even notice most of the time. So that is going to be the challenge for today. I'm not going to focus on the exercises per se, but I want you to be grateful. I want you to focus and experience every movement, every contraction of every part of your body and say, thank you, God, for making me in this way. Thank you that I am fearfully and wonderfully made.